Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these coins then, shall we? And first of all, I'm just going to apologise for the quality of this video. I know I'm not renowned for my production value, but I've had to use this old laptop. I'm at the in-laws again in London, so I'm having to make this video on an old, not as old as the one that basically didn't work last time I came here, but pretty much an old laptop that's running Ubuntu. So it's going to be a little bit laggy, so you'll have to bear with me. So first of all, we're going to just recap on where we stand with the situation. We've been trading this off the back of the dollar strength, and something interesting happened yesterday. The dollar rose, and so did stocks, well, maybe not commodities, but a little tiny smidgen, and Bitcoin. They all moved up a little bit with the dollar. So what I was expecting with this, and the reason why I think that probably happened, is if we go down to these lower term time frames, what we see is the dollar more or less, even though it's bullish, more or less finding what should be a top or a local top around about 94.75 or something around those lines. Let's just see where we reach those levels around here, 94.74. So that's kind of what I would say would be a local resistance, and looking to come down at least to test this exponential here, if not the 21, then maybe down to the 50. But I'd be very surprised if we did come down that far, considering the dollar has such a bullish outlook when you're looking at the sort of the daily and the 4 hourly. But it does look as though it has and maybe reaching its local top before coming down, small correction and then rebounding. So I think what we saw is the anticipation of that top and then the buys, because that would be a decent area to long if that were to be rejected. But it was interesting nonetheless to see that, because at one point everything was rising, dollar, stocks and Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, all rising at the same time, which is almost like a dream come true. You don't really want to have such a strong correlation, even though there clearly is and always will be. But it was kind of refreshing to see that maybe we can shy away a little bit now from the price of the Dixie, as we're expecting maybe this to maybe dip a little bit. But what I should say is that if we were to break above 94.75, then we are going quite a lot higher, probably up to test this level here around 96.20, and that would be a mega dump across the board. But anyway, that's enough of that. We're bored of talking about the Dixie. Let's have a look at Bitcoin then, shall we? And like I say, I'm sorry that this is going to be a little bit draggy and slow, bit of a laggy video. So first of all, let's focus on this, which is the price action. So what happened is we came up to test the 200 exponential moving average on the 4 hourly, rejection there. A bit of a rejection here as well, even though we burst through it, and we're probably going to be finding bounces around between the 50 and the 10. But because it's a weekend, and one thing I'll show you is that I'm not expecting a dump, but I am expecting the lower term time frames to be tested again. So we're talking about 10,500, because if we can turn that level into a support, then we've got decent areas to long all the way up into the 11,000s again. Looking a little droopy at the moment on the 4 hourly. Some of these indicators looking like they may have topped for the time being, but if we were to come down, I don't think we're going to be having a massive dump, because there's nothing to say that we should have a giant dump at this point. We rallied quite significantly, alts rallied significantly, and now I think the correction is taking place. This 4 hourly MACD, even though it's in bullish territory, looks as though it might want to cross under, and the money flow index is quite high, and this is just 4 hourly short term time frames, so we can't read too much. This is just for the weekend. For me, I don't really like trading at the weekends, and I'm not really in a position to do that, given that I'm at the in-laws at the minute. There's basically I can't really do anything. So when we're looking at the daily, what do we see? We see convergence of all these moving averages are all around this level, meaning that if we were to break through this top area, and let's just zoom in a little bit so we can see what that is. Like I say, I do apologise. This computer is one up from a typewriter, this thing that I'm using here. So yeah, again, rejections from the green 50. So there's confluence between the time frames, the 4-hourly and the daily. So we're reaching our tops around about 10,800, which is also where we were found supports before we broke down. So breaking above there and breaking above this green 50 is clearly going to be a bullish sign. But breaking down beneath this 10 exponential and getting rejected from there wouldn't be good either. So we broke down from there yesterday. But easily came back up above it. Now when we look at some of these other indicators, the MACD has just been saved at the last minute from making that negative cross. It just came through at the last minute, so congratulations to you, MACD, but you're still in negative territory, so we want to get above that 0 point. The RSI, as choppy as it looks, hasn't really got any specific formation to it, so we can't really talk about that. On the monthly flow index, this is where we wanted to short from, and that's where we made our big short from it. Is coming down quite nicely, so that's all okay. That's all well and good. Now, one thing I did notice when I looked at the weekly, on the MACD, for instance, the weekly, I'm not classing this yet because it's not confirmed. This can change if we were to rally over the weekend, but it does look like it wants to cross, and even though it's way above the 0 point, we haven't had a cross on the weekly for a while now on the MACD. For Bitcoin. In fact, I'm not going to really count this one, specifically count that one, because that brings us all the way back to where the tragedy happened. Where was that? Let's bring us over to that tragedy. There. So that's our tragedy. We had our cross and we came down a massive amount. But prior to that, we did find a top around about this level and found a negative cross, and we sailed it all the way down to these levels here. So if this were to cross, and it doesn't look very aggressive, to be honest with you, but if it were to cross, then we have to bear in mind that actually there is a chance that a downtrend may continue, and if that is the case, then yeah, I mean, it's time to take profits and maybe strap yourself in for a bumpy ride. That bumpy ride would also correlate to the dollar breaking out, basically, and a long-term sort of downtrend for Bitcoin would definitely be on the cards if the Dixie were to continue with this bullish momentum. The Dixie, like I say, is bullish. There's no question about it. It's a bullish chart. We'll zoom out a little bit just to see. It's basically corrected for a very long period of time. Not corrected, basically dumped, I would say, for a very long period of time. But during this bottoming area, the MACD has been creeping up slowly to the point where it now has reached the 0 point. And if we look at that close enough, we can see that yes, there is divergences between those moving averages. So that in itself on the daily is one thing to look at. Let's have a look at the weekly. I don't imagine we'll see anything significant on this weekly here. But we could do. We definitely could do. So you can see how this area here could be a super rejection, but it's not really ready for that yet, and that could form a cross. So a positive cross to the up for the Dixie and a negative cross to the down for Bitcoin, both on the weekly, could pose a bit of trouble for us traders, or certainly investors on the long term. But the short term, looks like there's going to be sideways actions and slightly to the up. Alright, let's look at XRP then, shall we? So this is the 4-hourly chart, and again, when we're looking at this one, we kind of see that we're ready for a bit of a not a downtrend or a down move, but I think we've reached our top locally for the moment. I don't expect we're going to come up much higher from the point we are at right now. Judging from the money flow index, that's very overextended. To me, that's almost always a sign that this was the local top. We need to come down before we go higher. So let's have a look at where we're going to come down if we are going to come down. We could collapse all the way back down to where we launched from, around here, around 23, 25 or so. There's no moving averages to say that we'll do that. We could simply just bounce from the 10 exponential. Oh, I'm so sorry about this. I'm going to lose subscribers over this. So from the 10 exponential here would be the first opportunity for bounces, just the upper areas of where we are at, right, of the 23. So 23.90, maybe 23.80, But pretty much, it's still looking quite good, but I don't think there's much higher to be going. I'm not really looking for any big bold moves to the up actually for crypto at all over this weekend. I think the move has been made, and I don't think the likelihood of bigger moves are to be made, especially today. And I think coming into tomorrow, obviously getting closer to Monday, where things start to get interesting again because traditional markets and Dixie and stocks. We'll have to see how Monday really kicks in. There might be a sell-off, I would say. Just thinking about it on a psychological aspect, there might be a sell-off, maybe at some point today or Sunday, in preparation for a potential move with the Dixie on Monday. But that's just pure speculation. Me personally, I'm not really in a position to make any trades at the moment, but I really wouldn't actually feel comfortable making any trades at the moment, just given what I've seen on the low time frames. Things look like they've made their tops for today. If there is to be a move, it might be tomorrow, but still, things are reasonably overextended. I don't think there'll be massive moves if there is moves at all. Anyway, I hope that was in some way useful for you, and I apologise for the poor quality video there, and I'll be back properly to make videos on Monday evening. So if you want to join my Telegram, feel free to do that. I'll probably have better input for you there. But other than that, have a good weekend yourself and take it easy. It'll probably take me about 5 minutes to close this video down now.